Hello everybody! In this video I'm going to do a little comparison on the PBS Kids idents that are used on Sony Wonder DVDs of Arthur versus alternate versions of Sony Wonder DVD releases of Sesame Street. Now, the Sony Wonder DVD releases of Sesame Street do not have PBS Kids idents in reality, but the Arthur releases do. However, I'm going to imagine what PBS Kids idents will be used if they were included on Sesame Street releases in addition to the Arthur ones. Arthur releases started using PBS Kids idents beginning in 2000, so we're going to imagine Sesame Street releases starting to use the PBS Kids idents beginning in 2000 as well. And like the Arthur DVDs, the Sesame Street ones will have the PBS Kids idents at the very end. First off, the Sony Wonder release of Elmo's World, Dancing, Music, and Books. The VHS was released February 1st, 2000. The DVD was October 30th, 2001. The Elmo's World, Dancing, Music, and Books, if the PBS Kids ident was included, its Dancing, Music, and Books is going to use the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident, where Dash the boy is thinking about something. And then for Cinder Elmo, released on VHS and DVD February 29th, 2000, Cinder Elmo is going to use the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident at the end as well, where Dash is thinking about something. And then for the Sony Wonder releases of Arthur's Famous Friends, it was released on March 21st, 2000 on VHS and January 14, 2003 on DVD. It's going to use the PBS Kids dot ident at the end. It uses the dot ident at the end of the Arthur release. Same goes for Arthur Goes to Hollywood, released on March 21st, 2000 on VHS and January 14, 2003 on DVD. That also uses the dot ident from 1999, where dot runs up to the screen. And now for Elmo's World, Babies, Dogs, and More, released on May 2nd, 2000, being one of the last releases to be released when the company was called Children's Television Workshop. Elmo's World, Babies, Dogs, and More is going to use the PBS Kids Dash ident from 1999 at the end, where Dash is thinking about something. And it was Babies, Dogs, and More was released on May 14, 2002 on DVD, so it's also intact on the DVD. And then for Sesame Street, Let's Make Music, it was released on July 18th, 2000 on VHS and 2003 on DVD. And Sesame Street, Let's Make Music will use the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident, where dot runs up to the screen. And then for Arthur's Scary Stories, that was released on August 1st, 2000 on VHS and July 16th, 2002 on DVD. And that uses the PBS Kids dot ident from 1999, where dot runs up to the screen. And then for Elmo's World, Singing, Drawing, and More, released on September 12th, 2000, Singing, Drawing, and More, Elmo's World, Singing, Drawing, and More is going to use the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident at the end, where dot runs up to the screen as well. And then for Elmo's World, Flowers, Bananas, and More, which was also released on September 12th, 2000, Elmo's World, Flowers, Bananas, and More is going to use the PBS Kids dot ident at the end as well, where dot runs up to the screen. And then for the 2001 releases, Elmo's Musical Adventure, The Story of Peter and the Wolf from 2001, from January 9th, 2001, on VHS and DVD. By the way, Elmo's World Singing, Drawing, and More, and Flowers, Bananas, and More were released on May 14th, 2002 on DVD as well. Elmo's Musical Adventure, The Story of Peter and the Wolf, was released on January 9th, 2001 on both VHS and DVD. And Elmo's Musical Adventure, The Story of Peter and the Wolf. Again, the Sesame Street releases don't have PBS Kids idents in reality, but I'm using my imagination here. But Elmo's Musical Adventure, The Story of Peter and the Wolf, if there was a PBS Kids ident, it's going to use Elmo's Musical Adventure, The Story of Peter and the Wolf is going to use the PBS Kids dot ident from 1999, where dot runs up to the screen as well. And then for Arthur's Mystery Files, it was released on VHS on January 30th, 2001, but it never got a DVD release. And Arthur's Mystery Files had the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident at the end, where Dash was thinking about something. And then Arthur's Storybook was also released on VHS on January 30th, 2001, and also, unfortunately, never got a DVD release. And Arthur's Storybook also used the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident at the end, where Dash was thinking about something. And Arthur's Perfect Christmas didn't have a PBS Kids ident on the Sony Wonder release either. And for Elmo's Magic Cookbook, released March 13th, 2001, I believe. Elmo's Magic Cookbook will use the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident at the end, where Dash is thinking about something. Now, for Sesame Street releases with the PBS Kids idents, they will come right after the website bumper that says, visit Sesame Street on the web at www.sesamestreet.com. Whereas Arthur releases will have it after the funding. And then, of course, for Arthur's Celebration, that was released on May 8th, 2001. That does not have a PBS Kids ident at all. And then for Elmo's World Birthdays, Games, and More, released on VHS May 15th, 2001 on VHS, and May 14th, 2002 on DVD, Elmo's World Birthdays, Games, and More is going to use the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident at the end, where dot runs up to the screen. And then for Elmo's World Wild Wild West, released on September 11, 2001 on VHS and November 6, 2001 on DVD, I believe. It's going to use the 1999 PBS Elmo's World Wild Wild West is going to use the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident, where dot runs up to the screen at the end. And then for, by the way, Arthur Goes to the Doctor and Arthur's Best School Days were released on September 11, 2001 on VHS as well. And those Arthur titles also used the PBS Kids dot ident as well. And those Arthur VHS releases got a DVD release in 2002 on June 11th. And then, of course, for the Kids' Favorite Songs 2, released on October 30th, 2001, on both VHS and DVD. We'll use the 1999 PBS Kids dot ident at the end for Kids' Favorite Songs 2, where dot runs up to the screen. And then we get to the 2002 DVD releases, with Sesame Street Computer Caper, released on February 12th, 2002. And this will be the very first Sesame Street DVD release to use the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident at the end, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut for Sesame Street Computer Caper. And then for Elmo's World Springtime Fun, that was also released on February 12, 2002 on VHS and DVD. Elmo's World Springtime Fun will be the first release to use the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash looks at a goldfish in a fishbowl, imagines himself as an orange goldfish, and then gets eaten by Dot. And then for Elmo's World Wake Up with Elmo, released on May 14th, 2002, Elmo's World Wake Up with Elmo will be the very first Sesame Street release with the PBS Kids Dash transformation ident from 2000, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. And then for Bert and Ernie's Wordplay, released on June 11th, 2002, the same day Sony Wonder also released Arthur the Good Sport, and, of course, Arthur's Great Summer. Arthur the Good Sport had the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident at the end, and Arthur's Great Summer had no PBS Kids ident whatsoever. For Bert and Ernie's Wordplay, the Sesame Street DVD release from June 11, 2002, Bert and Ernie's Wordplay, it's also going to use the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut, much like the Arthur release, The Good Sport, released on the same day. And then, of course, for Elmo Visits the Firehouse, released on September 3rd of 2002, this is going to be the very... Elmo Visits the Firehouse is going to be the very first Sesame Street DVD release to use the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident at the end, where Dash ice skates in an ice rink, feels the ground shake, and then the camera reveals that he is inside a snow globe, where Dot is holding the snow globe, with Dot having blue skin instead of green. And then for Elmo's World Happy Holidays, released on September 24th, 2002, it's also going to use Elmo's World Happy Holidays is also going to use the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident at the end, where Dash ice skates inside of an ice rink, and then feels the ground shake, and the camera zooms out to reveal he's inside a snow globe, where Dot is holding it, of course. And then for Arthur, It's Only Rock and Roll, that was released on October 1st, 2002 on VHS and DVD. Arthur, It's Only Rock and Roll was the first Arthur release to use the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash looks inside of a fishbowl, imagines himself as an orange goldfish and getting eaten by Dot, which Arthur releases had it fade in and out and say pbskids.org. For Elmo's World Springtime Fun, it's also going to say pbskids.org, but it will cut in and out instead of fading in and out. And as for the snow globe ident for Elmo Visits the Firehouse and, of course, Elmo's World Happy Holidays, it'll also say pbskids.org and cut in and out as well. Alright, then we go to the 2003 releases with Arthur's Snow Day and Arthur's Family Fun, both being released on January 14, 2003. Both of those Arthur titles used the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident at the end, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut. And for Elmo's World Head to Toe with Elmo, released on January 14, 2003, the same day as those Arthur releases, Elmo's World Head to Toe with Elmo is going to use something different. Instead of using the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident like the Arthur releases, Elmo's World Head to Toe with Elmo will mark the return of the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident, where Dash is thinking about something that has been used since 2001's Elmo's Magic Cookbook. And then for Zoe's Dance Moves, released, I think, on March 4th, 2003, Zoe's Dance Moves will mark the return of the 1999 PBS Kids Dot ident on a Sesame Street release ever since Kids' Favorite Songs 2. And then for Elmo's World, The Great Outdoors, released on June 3rd, 2003, Elmo's World, The Great Outdoors will use the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut. And then, of course, for Sesame Sings Karaoke, Sesame Sings Karaoke was released on before we get into that, we'll talk about the Arthur releases. The June 10th, 2003 VHS and DVD releases of Arthur's Tasty Treats and Arthur's Best Friends, along with the DVD releases of Arthur Writes a Story and Arthur's Baby. Those Arthur titles, released on June 10th, 2003, had the 2000 PBS Kids Dash transformation ident at the end, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. And then for Sesame Sings Karaoke, released on August 5th, 2003, Sesame Sings Karaoke will also use the 2000 PBS Kids Dash transformation ident at the end, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot as well. And then for Three Bears and a New Baby, released on August 5th, 2003 as well, Three Bears and a New Baby will use the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident at the end, where Dash is thinking about something. And then for the September 2nd, 2003 releases of Arthur, Arthur Cracks the Case and Arthur Gets Spooked had the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut. Well, the DVD releases of Arthur's Pet Business and Arthur's Teacher Trouble had the Dash transformation counterpart, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. Okay. Now for the 2004 releases. Arthur's Pet Follies was released on January 27, 2004, and Arthur's Pet Follies had the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident. And Arthur Saves the Day released on the exact same day as Arthur's Pet Follies, January 27, 2004, of course. Arthur Saves the Day, on the other hand, had the dash transformation ident, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. Unlike Pet Follies, which had the dot transformation counterpart, where Dot transformed from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut. Now, the DVD releases of Arthur's Lost Library Book and Arthur Makes the Team, also released on January 27, 2004, also had the Dash transformation ident, where Dash transformed from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. Now, for Elmo's World, Elmo has 2 hands, ears, and feet, released on January 27, 2004, the same day as those Arthur titles. Elmo has 2 hands, ears, and feet. We'll use the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash looks at a goldfish in the fishbowl, imagines himself as an orange goldfish, and gets eaten by Dot. And this time, it will not say pbskids.org this time, but it will cut in and out for that Elmo's World DVD. And then for Big Bird in China and Big Bird in Japan, they DVD and VHS releases from 2004 will use the Dash transformation ident from 2000, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. And then for Sesame Street, What's the Name of That Song, released on April 6, 2004, Sesame Street, What's the Name of That Song is going to use the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident, where Dash ice skates and then feels the ground shake and the camera zooms out to reveal that he is inside of a snow globe, which Dot the girl is holding. And the snow globe ident this time will not say pbskids.org either, but it will still cut in and out. And then for Elmo's World Families Mail and Bath Time, alright. Now for the June 8th, 2004 releases. The Arthur titles, Parents Are From Pluto and DW Thinks Big, had the 2000 PBS Kids Dash transformation ident at the end, and the DVD of Arthur's Family Vacation also used the PBS Kids Dash transformation ident at the end, but the DVD of Arthur's Eyes used the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident at the end. But for Elmo's World Families Mail and Bath Time, it's going to use the 1999 PBS Kids Dot ident, where Dot runs up to the screen. And then, of course, Elmo's World, and then, of course, the August 3rd, 2004 releases. Arthur's School of Hard Knocks, Arthur's Double Dare, and the DVD releases of Arthur's New Puppy and Arthur's First Sleepover all had the PBS Kids Dash transformation ident at the end for those Arthur releases. Now, for Elmo's World, The Street We Live On, it's going to use the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash looks inside of a fishbowl, imagines himself as an orange goldfish, and then gets eaten by Dot. And then, of course, for Sesame Street, A Magical Halloween Adventure, also released on August 3rd, 2004, just like that Elmo's World release and those Arthur releases. A Magical Halloween Adventure is going to use the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut. And then for A Celebration of Me, Grover, released on August 31st, 2004, A Celebration of Me, Grover is going to use the 2000 PBS Kids Dash transformation ident, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. And now for the October 5th, 2004 releases, those were all Arthur titles. Arthur's Music Medley, Arthur's Terrible Teasers, Arthur's Chickenpox, and DW's Blanky DVD releases. All of those released October 5th, 2004 had the PBS Kids Dash transformation ident at the end, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. Now for the February 1st, 2005 releases. Arthur's Money Matters, The Big Riddle, Arthur's Tooth, and Arthur's Treasure Hunt were all released on February 1st, 2005, with Arthur's Money Matters and Arthur's Treasure Hunt using the full-length 2000 PBS Kids Dash transformation ident, where Dash transformed from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot. And then for Arthur the Big Riddle, it used an abridged version of Dash transformation that just fades in at the part where Dash is in robot form. And then for Arthur's Tooth used the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash looked at a goldfish in the fishbowl, imagines himself as an orange goldfish, and then got eaten by Dot. Now for Sesame Street Happy Healthy Monsters, it's going to use the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut. Okay, and then the May 10th, 2005 releases. Arthur Makes a... You Are Arthur and Arthur Goes Crosswire were released on May 10th, 2005, and these two Arthur titles, used the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident for Arthur Goes Crosswire and You Are Arthur. And for Arthur Makes a Movie and Arthur Goes on a Field Trip, released on the same day on DVD, those titles used the Dash transformation counterpart. Now for Elmo's World Food, Water, and Exercise, it's going to use the 1999 PBS Kids Dot ident, where Dot runs up to the screen. And now for the June 14th, 2005 releases, this is when Arthur titles stopped using PBS Kids idents. But the Sesame Street one, like Friends to the Rescue and All-Star Alphabet. Oh, I wanted to tell you, All-Star Alphabet will use the PBS Kids Dash ident from 1999 at the end, where Dash is thinking about something. And as for Friends to the Rescue, that one will use the PBS Kids Dot ident from 1999 at the end, where Dot runs up to the screen. And now for the 2006 releases. Elmo's World Reach for the Sky, released on January 31st, 2006, will use the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident at the end, where Dash ice skates inside of an ice rink, feels the ground shake, and then the camera zooms out to reveal that he is inside a snow globe, which Dot is holding. Guess That Shape and Color will use the 1999 PBS Kids Dash ident, where Dash is thinking about something. Elmo's World Pets will use the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash looks at a goldfish in the fishbowl, comes close to the fishbowl, and imagines himself as an orange goldfish, and then gets eaten by Dot as a green fish. And by the way, Elmo's World Pets was released on August 1st, 2006. And of course, for Elmo's Potty Time, the last VHS release of Sesame Street, released on August 15th, 2006, Elmo's Potty Time is going to use the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut. And now for A Sesame Street Christmas Carol, released on November 14th, 2006. A Sesame Street Christmas Carol is definitely going to use the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident, where Dash ice skates in an ice rink, feels the ground shake, and the camera zooms out to reveal that he is inside a snow globe, which Dot, the girl, is holding. And then, of course, for Elmo's World, What Makes You Happy, released on February 6, 2007, I think. Elmo's World, What Makes You Happy will use the 1999 PBS Kids Dot ident at the end, where Dot runs up to the screen. And then we get into the TV episode Fun Pack volumes, which will be very interesting. TV episode Fun Pack Volume 1, released on March 6, 2007, containing the Letter of the Month Club and the Furry Red Monster Parade. Letter of the Month Club will use the 2000 PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms from a tiger to an octopus to an astronaut, while the Furry Red Monster Parade will use the 1999 PBS Kids Dot ident, where Dot runs up to the screen. And then for TV episode Fun Pack Volume 2, containing 3 episodes, Abby Cadabby Moves to Sesame Street, Elmo and the Seven Dwarves, or Snow White's Meltdown, and Elmo and Zoe's Scientific Exploration. Abby Cadabby Moves to Sesame Street will use the 2000 PBS Kids Dash transformation ident, where Dash transforms from a caveman to a scuba diver to a robot, on Disc 1 of TV episode Fun Pack Volume 2. Disc 2, which is Elmo and the Seven Dwarves, also known as Snow White's Meltdown, will use the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident at the end, where Dash ice skates in an ice rink, feels the ground shake, and the camera zooms out to reveal that he is inside a snow globe, which is held by Dot the girl, of course. And then for the last disc, Elmo and Zoe's Scientific Exploration. Elmo and Zoe's Scientific Exploration will use the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash ice skates in an ice rink. No, where Dash... Let me rephrase that. Elmo and Zoe's Scientific Exploration will use the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash looks at a goldfish in the fishbowl, imagines himself as an orange goldfish, and then gets eaten by Dot. And there you have it. How I imagine the PBS Kids idents on Sesame Street DVDs. But as I've already said before, in reality, none of the PBS Kids idents appeared on any Sony Wonder releases of Sesame Street, but this was just all my imagination. I will see you guys later.